say that we're live. I had no idea. My laptop is so old that
It's saying we're live now there, Mike.
Alright, cool. Mine just takes things a while to filter through on my laptop. But anyhow, you have found yourself summoned via the Adventurers Guild. Anybody want to take a job in the village of Hearthstone, just outside of the movement? They have had problems recently with thieves going around. They were hard hit originally in the Lizardmen invasion, and the town was nearly destroyed. It's been a while, and they've been working on it, and they're about ready to pull in their first harvest. And some of the silos are getting full. The city's about half built. When suddenly somebody has started stealing from several of the outlying houses around, stealing from the barns. Things have come up missing. And then one farmer who had stayed up all night to protect his crop was found slain, along with many of his stuff missing. Some of his prized cow, some chickens, and a whole host of grain. The village cannot take too much more of this. If these thieves persist, the village will just end because there's so on the brink of leaving anyway because of the turmoil done by the Lizard King. So you have found yourself now traveling to this town. They have offered to pay each of you 100 gold pieces, along with your guild dues, which I'm still not exactly sure how much that is. But they will pay it. And you find yourself, as you're going through the town, you can see that some of the buildings are still quite badly burned. Some of them even have large holes in them. But they've been patched up. Some plywood and such like that has been put over some of the holes. Some white washing paint over some of the burn marks and scorch marks. You can see that it's starting to come back again. One of the things that you notice as you're heading into the main town hall is the children everywhere. And as you stop and ask the passerby who's watching these kids, they will tell you that there's been many orphans due to the recent wars around Illumia. And they're all taken care of at the orphanage. They point to one of the larger houses that you have. That is Madame Haversham's orphanage. It's the largest orphanage in all the outlying areas, and that's where all the kids are from, because they're all over the place. And then you will walk into the main hall, and this is what you see. People gathered around to give you the details of the quest. And as you enter the hall, go ahead and introduce yourself, your character, and anything else you'd like to do. And we'll start with Charles.
As Ilitha comes on in, she'll be looking at the pages of the courtroom and coughing and under her breath a little bit, going, waiting for them to announce her. And then when they don't react fast enough, she'll say, "I am Ilitha, the Duchess of Gelderland, here to assist this village and its elders with this problem and issue if they have the right answers and quantity of geld to pay for my immense services as far as that." But she's about 20 years old, 5'6". She's in leather armor, and she has with that a leather hood that's up over. It's pretty much like the picture that you see in front of you. As far as that, looks to be about 120 pounds. Really can't see the eyes, but when you're looking in at the hood there, they almost seem a warm red or yellow out as far as that. And she doesn't seem to be carrying a lot of arms. You'll see a couple daggers, and you'll see that she has a travel bag that she has across her back, and her skin looks like it may where you can kind of notice it looks like it may be a little dry, almost scaly, but not too much. And that's about what she'd offer and what you'd see.
The man sitting in the center, he'll be a middle-aged man, beard. You can't really make out much in this picture. But he'll have a beard, and he'll be wearing not a crown, but a big floppy hat. And everyone here will understand this is a sign of some prestige right here. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the mayor of Hearthstone, Garen. And I do not know that if we have enough gold to buy a duchess such as yourself, nor do we wish to endanger your royalness. And this petty encounter, surely your highness has more important duties to attend to than our districts.
Well, she'll say, you probably are correct, sir. But we could make an arrangement here if you go ahead and allow me to have an embassy for Gelderland here in your village.
Oh, most assuredly, yes. Yes. And if you are successful, then yes, it will be quite nice to have you an embassy for any outlying regions. Where is Gelderland exactly?
Oh, it's up in the north, off the Sea of Mist. There, you have to. It's a long voyage, and such. But your great peril has come across to us for so long that we decided to come and give a neighborly outreaching hand.
That's most kind. Truly, I can see the generosity in your noble appearance. And then next we shall have. Let me see who is next on my left. Megan or Dell. What do you prefer, Dell again?
Yeah, I usually go by Dell, but it doesn't matter either way.
As you wish, Dell shall be from now on.
All right. Well, Lyra will walk in, sort of behind Elisha. Is that how you say your name? I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Elisha.
And she's a tiefling. Her skin is red. She's got this mop of really wild, curly red hair, and these long, curling, like almost like ram's horns. And she's actually got her horns pierced in various places, as well as her ears. And she has, even on the very tip of her tail, she has some bangles. She walks in with a wide smile, and sort of almost like she's performing, like she's walking in very, very confidently. And she'll go right up to the mayor and give a small bow and say, Mayor, I am glad to be here to help you. My name is Lyra.
He'll be taken aback, and the whole crowd will actually take a step back and hold their breath. Help? Are you sure? What pits of hell did you come from?
No pits of hell, darling. But I come from Illumina. I feel as though most of you must have heard of it by now. And she'll flick her tail a little bit, and she'll pull out her viol and play a little tune to sort of entertain and sort of show that she's, a very nice little tiefling.
Out some give us, ma'am, I think, but out here in the country, we don't have many of your kind here. And is the guild now in league with demons? Forgive me, but I'm very wary. I'm taken aback. I don't know what to say.
Oh, you don't have to say anything, darling.
Yeah, so I will tell you this: if you help with us, then we will be hard pressed to forget your lineage. But I assure you that we will.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Yes. We're just not used to your kind around here. And then next will be Chapo. Who's muted?
Me?
Yes.
He steps up, says, "My name's Pike."
Yes, Pike. Orc is it? Or
I'm a bugbear.
the bugbear. It's difficult to keep all those humanoids around. Are you also with the guild?
Yes.
And you can help us?
Yes.
Very well. Anything else you'd like to description of Pike besides he's a bugbear?
He's 7 feet tall. Looks like a bugbear, obviously. And he's got wraps all the way up his forearm on both sides and around his feet. You see that he doesn't have any shoes or anything on or any sandals. He just kind of wrapped his feet up in wraps. Other than that, he carries a staff and a couple javelins on his back and a backpack. That's all he has.
All right, coolio. And next up is Matthew.
Okay. I am playing Alvalarm. He's a half elf. When he came to Aluna, he didn't have anything except his sword. You would call it a longsword, but it's a really weird one. It really only has a blade on one side, a sharp blade on one side. He doesn't really. He just spent several years just wandering the wilderness, and he just sort of came across it, and just he'll say he keeps it. If people ask him why he uses it, he'll just say, "Whenever I hit things with it, it feels warm in my hands." Yeah. Yeah. And
I believe you have Elvish ancestry.
yeah, so he just walks in. Just he looks rugged for such his young age. Has a deep, piercing look. Doesn't really say much.
Well, I believe you have Elven ancestry there, if my eyes do not deceive me. Slight noticing around the eyes and ears, as it were. How may you assist us in this endeavor?
Well, I can cut things.
Oh, that's nice, I suppose. And we don't want the thieves to be continuing again, but we're not necessarily asking for their heads, though. Although that would possibly be excusable if they fight back. But you seem to be quite serious. Quite like you've seen some stuff. Okay. And next up will be Metal.
So, yeah, Elisha, just so you have an image to work with, she looks like this. Carries a wakizashi as a short sword reskin.
Yeah.
And she wears a similar outfit, perhaps without the head on her belt. And she stands to be 5'7" and weighs about 145 pounds. And she almost has a bored expression as she is standing beside the tiefling. And she's looking at the crowd and making sure there's doesn't seem to be any signs of danger.
No apparent signs of danger, although the crowd is still staring warily at Illyria. Elira. Is it Elira or Illyria? The tiefling. They're staring at her.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's Lyra.
Lyra. Okay.
And then I'll look to Darren, who seems to be inquisitive about us.
Yes. Have you also been sent by the guild to help us in this turmoil we've been having?
We've all been sent by the guild. I doubt you would just let any wanderers with weapons walk into your halls.
Well, I mean, you'd be surprised. It's not like we have very many guards or anything around here. We are but a small village, and we can't even handle petty thievery at the moment. We are badly damaged due to the last war. Most of our villagers are dead. Those who could bear arms did such. It did not fare well. Hence, we have to contract out to the guild.
Well, for future reference, expressing such weaknesses is probably not the very good way to cultivate strength.
I agree thoroughly, and we will not let others know of this. However, I feel that the guild is sufficiently honorable to not take advantage of our weakened state.
And she just nods her head to her.
Although I've heard some shit about the Goblin Merchants Guild. Those motherfuckers are ruthless. Sorry. And
I'll just be standing beside Lyra because everyone's giving her a weary glare.
and then William, you're up.
Yeah, Valdatori walks in covered head to toe in leather armor. He has 6 short swords strapped to his back and to his waist at strategic locations. And he just kind of puts his fist over his heart. I am Valdatori. I am here to kill things. He steps to the side.
Well, once again, I appreciate your fervor. Fervor, my bad. But, we don't necessarily want people killed, but we want the thieves stopped. We understand that it may come to that, but that is not necessarily our intent.
They cannot steal from you if they are dead.
You are correct, sir. You are correct, and
I am here to kill things.
okay.
Thieving stops.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
But in case you have noticed, as you entered, we have enough orphans in this town as it is. The last thing we need is more. Of course, we also don't need thievery. But I'm sure you all have many questions that about this. Feel free to ask away. Most of the assembled villagers here have all been robbed from time to time, and so can give you whatever information you may need.
I just kind of look over the room one last time, and then I'll look to Lyra, and I just kind of nod my head to her.
She'll nod back and look at the crowd and say, did anybody ever see which direction the thieves came from, or do they come from all directions?
One of the villagers will stand forward and stutter, and he will not make eye contact with you at all, Lyra. But he will be like, no, really, I did find some tracks. They were small and weird. And they came and they went. I have an outlying farm. And so they came from the west and then went back east, which would be generally in this direction of the village. But I'm sure they didn't come from here. Or if so, I'd have no idea where they'd be hiding. He's staring at the floor, like kicking at his feet at a loose pile of dirt. This is just FYI, not as grandiose as the picture. It's more a wooden great room with the dirt floor.
Ilitha will ask, were there any requests from individuals around to give you protection for a price prior to these rearrangement of allocations of resources?
Well, that was actually the mayor will speak up again. That was actually one of our first thoughts. Is we thought the Goblin Merchant Alliance that was setting up here was doing this, but we've had them locked up for several days, and it still continued.
Who, and speaking to the mayor, Ilitha will say, who is the head of this Goblin Merchant Alliance in this area?
The head, I don't know, but there's been two representatives. The main one is Brahm. And
Brahm,
yes. And he has an assistant, and we immediately locked them both up after the thievery had started before they arrived, and then they came, and one of them mentioned that for the low price of 5 bars of gold pressed platinum, that they would make stop. And so we naturally assumed it was them because they're goblins, and so we locked them up for 2 nights in a row. But thieving continued on while they were locked up.
Did you have good guards on them that stayed awake?
Oh yes. We're sure it was not them. Matter of fact, you can go see them. They're still in the lockup. We have not let them out yet.
Ah, good. Thank you, Mayor. Any trackers around your area that could identify, because I did hear something about footprints, identify what made these footprints? I know some of the farmers might not know, but I'm sure you have a huntsman or two here, or a lumberman, a lumberjack.
Brown will start sobbing. And the guy will go, we did, but alas, our scouts and hunters were some of our main lines of defense in the invasions. Sadly, they did not make it.
Well, stop your sobbing. They did a great task for you. They allowed you to be here today to see my grand visage. And then she'll quiet down.
Lyra will ask the villager that spoke before and told her that or like which direction they had come from, and she'll say very quietly and very like just trying to keep them calm because everybody seems a little on edge in here, and just be like, "You mentioned that the tracks were weird. Could you tell me what was weird about them? Were they hoof prints? Were they footprints? What types of tracks did you actually find?"
He'll still not make eye contact at all, looking down at his shoes and nervously shuffling around, and puts his hands in his pockets. And he'll be like, "Well, they were like three-toed almost. I'm not really sure because I'm just a simple farmer and I'm used to cow prints and sheep and the oxen, but."
Well, even the fact that you were able to identify that they were different just goes to prove how smart and observant you are.
You can see a sheepish smile as he does such, and his eyes, while not his face looks up, he's still looking down. You can see his eyes raise and look at you a little bit with a sheepish smile. So, "Thanks, my lady, but I am but a humble peasant, and don't curse me."
I would never curse you. I don't curse the cute ones.
Elitha will chime in and say, "It's good to see that the folks know their position properly."
Yes, my Duchess. I can assure you that the mayor speaking up again. I can assure you that while our holes may not be up to par with what you are used to in your grand estates, that we will show you every accommodation and courtesy that we can, and we would greatly appreciate the what's that called again? Diplomat, ambassador,
Embassy?
embassy. Thank you. Yes, in my old age, I've become stupid. An embassy in our fair town.
Well, it will be done. Yeah, I'll survey this town and find an appropriate spot for it.
But then after the Goblin Merchant Alliance was pretty much eliminated from suspects, we had a town meeting and somebody mentioned that the guild had done great works in solving puzzles and defending Illumina against lizardmen and goblins and other creatures. And so we sent forth a summons to see if they would send adventurers here to help solve this problem of ours. So that's
yeah.
Now, how would you all like to proceed?
Well, unless there's any more information you or yours could share with us, I imagine our next course of action would be to take a look at these tracks ourselves and see if we can find out where they're going or where they came from. Possibly talk to the goblins to see if they know anything.
Yes, both right. And one of the guys who's actually wearing a badly ill-fitted suit, a set of leather armor, and a helmet too big for his head. He's now the town constable, even though he is clearly not. Well, let's just say a very impressive-looking man. But he has gotten the job now. Here, take them to where we have the goblins locked up. First, it's just outside of here. And then show them to Farmer McCready's farm, where he had some cows stolen. And the guy, who's obviously Farmer McCready, who's been staring at the floor and says, will give a sideways glance to the mayor's like, "On my land? Oh no. I'll have to get some salt." And then the constable will be like, "As you were, would you like to come here and I'll show you where the goblins are being held?
Well, lead the way.
He'll lead you outside and then down a side street, and then you come to what is more likely more likely called what is it? It's an icebox. It is a small dark room, half underground, half above ground, that is next to an inn. And as you look down into it, it is a baked brick mud, quite solid. And as you peer into it, barely as your eyes adjust to the light, for those of you without immediate dark vision, will see chained to a stake in the ground, 2 goblins that are quite well-dressed, yet dirty, disheveled, as if they've been lying here chained to the stake for quite a bit of time.
Ilitha will go ahead and say, Sergeant of the Guard, go get these fine goblins 2 glasses of grog from next door. They look parched and can't talk with dry tongues and lips.
He will be like, you're giving them drink?
Chop, chop! No back talk.
And he'll rush out of the room quickly.
Now, you goblins, you slime of creation, tell us what you know onto these horrid thievery of such a debased people as this.
Apparently I don't have a picture of a goblin.
I'll just kind of lean into Lyra's ear and I'll say, no, I didn't like her heritage, but her pompous attitude and confidence is kind of astounding.
You're telling me. And they thought they should be afraid of me.
Actually, look, there's a goblin right there. They will be like, yes, you will not believe how horrible it was. We just came into town because we're starting to broaden the Goblin Merchants Alliance out into the area around Illumina, and so we figured we'd start with the small towns first and build those up before heading into Illumina itself. And then we heard that they were having problems with thieves. Cursed thieves! We hate them. They steal stuff, and what do goblins do but we acquire stuff? And so they're kind of anti-faithful to us. So we figured if they have a problem, perhaps they would pay to have it solved. So we offered for the low price of 5 bars of gold pressed platinum. See what we could do about their issues. And then they stake us in here. It's been a week. They barely feed us.
So, have you made any acquisitions while you were in this town?
No, they threw us in here.
Ilitha will do an insight check. See,
I'd like to join on the insight.
One of you may roll it with advantage then. Your choice.
Do you have insight? Because I've got a +6.
Well, you go ahead and I'll give you the advantage. You're better off than I am.
Okay, the advantage didn't really help, but I got a 24.
What you're getting from these goblins is they're hungry, dirty, and indignant, actually.
Can you say that again? You kind of cut out there for a bit.
They're hungry, they're dirty, and they're rather indignant that they've been put in jail for doing nothing wrong.
I'm going to look to everyone else. I'm going to say it seems that their story holds some grain of truth. I don't think they did any of this.
Lyra will look to the goblins and say, "You mentioned that you were going to have them pay you to get rid of their problem. How on earth were the two of you going to get rid of all of their thieves?"
Well, you see, that's a trade secret. For the low, low price of 5 bars of gold pressed latinum.
Now see, you wouldn't charge a friend, would you? And she is going to cast friends on him.
Oh, some bitch. Okay.
Yes.
Why? Of course not. As his eyes glaze over a little bit and there's stars in his eyes and he's beaming at you.
So tell me, how were you going to get rid of them? I'm sure it was very clever.
We don't really know. We were just hoping to get paid and then we'd work out the details afterwards.
So you were going to lie to them and take their money anyway?
I wouldn't necessarily put it like that.
How would you put it, darling?
We were going to look into it after we got paid.
Now, are you sure when you say look into it, you mean that you would look into it or you would look into a way to get out of the town?
Well, we would put forth a good faith effort into trying to find the thieves and do something about them. But if the villagers started to be, wary and thinking that they may want a refund, the rule of acquisition 135 states that once you have their money, never give it back. So then we may have to leave. No refund.
So you would have stolen from them, offered them a service, not delivered, and left.
Well, there's no saying that we would or would not have delivered. We may have. We're quite talented. Just because we're goblins doesn't mean we can't accomplish things.
And Lyra's just going to shake her head and be like, and this is why you wait to pay someone until after they've done the job.
After. The goblin just shakes his head and rolls his eyes.
I'm not sure they have any more information, but if one of you would like to try and get something more out of them, they might not have deserved to be thrown in here straight off, but I imagine this was where they were coming, regardless.
Well, since they didn't really give us anything useful, I guess we could just take their drinks and leave. I could use a nice ale anyways.
What? No.
I'm going to slowly walk up to them, kneel down, and just stare right at them and just say, "Are you sure there isn't anything more that will be useful to us in finding anything about these thieves?" I rolled a 26 on intimidation.
Oh, shit. They are intimidated, to say the least.
Don't make them cry.
Let's see here. What would they have known? I'll tell you this. You've got to promise not to hurt it. Don't do anything worse. But if I were in this town attempting to set up a thief organization, I would utilize the thing that they have a lot of.
And what would that be?
outside and not really take much notice. All those fucking kids outside! No! The whole freaking town's overrun of them. It's like they've been overrun by goblins, except they're actually small humans. That's just what I would do.
Yeah. And I'm just going to walk away.
Has the sergeant of the guard come back with the 2 cups of grog?
Yes, he will.
Okay. And Elitha will say, unlock them. Give them the grog and put them in my custody.
Yes, mistress. However, I'll need an order from the mayor. Though, I mean, we're not in Gelderland, no offense.
Well, the mayor said, and you were right there, that you would go ahead and give us all assistance that we required. Our requirement is to set them free and put them in my custody so I can assist you in being free of the vermin that are on the street.
Well, Duchess, Your Highness, if you would like to take these under your responsibility and be accountable for their actions, then I will grant you their custody if you wish.
So be it. That's what I was requesting or instructing.
Yes. All right, and then he'll fumble around on his belt for a second, like a skeleton key type thing, and then he'll walk over to them and unlock the padlocks that got them. And as he's unlocking them, the one goblin that had been expelled by Lyra will be like, "Hey, you!" It's been roughly a minute. You! She ensorcelled me! She made me give up secrets without paying for them first.
Elitha will say, isn't this freedom out of the cell payment enough?
We'll forgive it this time. But just let us know, devil woman. We've got our eye on you. And they will attempt to slither and walk away unless you would like to tell them to stop.
Elitha will say, stop. Come over here. You're my charge. You take care of what I tell you to take care, and you do our bidding.
What?
So otherwise.
Fine, you got us out of this. What would you have us do?
Well, first of all, go look the village over for a prime spot for placing my embassy. And while doing that, have your ear to the ground. And since you're so suspicious of these human children, listen to see of any conversation of note that may be important to us. And if you are successful, we may, or I may rather, compensate you in a rather beneficial way.
Oh, yeah, such as gold pressed platinum?
Well, such as we'll discuss it when the services are rendered properly.
All this pay after. I swear. What is wrong with these people around here? Fine, as you wish. And they will wander off down the street, pointing at the architecture, and you can hear them mumbling like, "Hey, that looks like a good place for an embassy. Oh yeah, but the location, fucking, you know." You see passersby also on the street warily looking at the goblins that are now freed meandering around the city, talking about architecture and location.
And Elitha will say, well, we need to go to the farm. Is that not right? There, my horny one?
Horny one, eh? Yes, the farm is our next stop, unless somebody else has a better idea.
Thought he was talking to me for a moment. Yeah, we can go. I'm ready.
I don't see no horns on you, Elitha will say.
Hers are more well hidden.
And the constable then will go, as you wish, follow me. It's about 2 miles outside of town. This way. And he'll start taking off down the street at a brisk pace with his helmet every once in a while falling off over to the side on his head as he's walking briskly, and tripping every once in a while over the leggings of the studded leather, which are a bit too long for him. It is obvious that this was not fitted for him, as in somebody had died and he has now been appointed constable.
Elitha will, on the walk, take notice of how many children that are running the streets, since the goblin had made such a pointed mention of such.
You will see quite a few. Every once in a while, you'll see 2 or 3 go skipping and running around. You will see more children in the town than you will see villagers.
Do they look like typical village or city urchins as far as cleanliness, dress, and such?
As in, they don't seem very clean.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do appear somewhat, rags, not so clean, a lot of dirt on them.
Okay. So
they appear to be running around, skipping, jumping, chasing each other, playing tag.
so they don't.
When I got a picture of orphans.
Okay. So they don't seem to be above their station as far as what one would visually expect.
No. They are running around, jumping, scuffing, sticks. Some of them are barefoot. Some of them do have semblance of leather raggedy shoes. Just like out of Oliver Twist.
They might as well just be wearing potato sacks.
Yes. Some of them, the ones you see running around, range anywhere from the ages of 3 to, say, 11 would be the oldest.
Elitha will call one over. Hey, you, little gal, come here.
Look at you a little warily, and we'll slowly come closer and be like, you have a copper or a candy?
I don't have a copper or candy for you unless you can earn it.
Mr. Haversham always says that we should get the coppers and candy from any of the villagers.
Well, what I can do for you is I can show you a trick if you would desire, and then maybe you can.
A trick. Pull a copper from behind my ear. That way I get a trick and a copper.
Well, we'll go ahead and we'll do a trick where it's not a copper, but it's a ball of light using the light cantrip. As she pulls her hand back from underneath the dirty, greasy hair and ear of the young lady, and all of a sudden it'll light on up in her fingers.
Whew. Wow, that's pretty impressive. You're very, 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 very. I don't know. Wow.
And can you introduce us sometime to your mistress? Is she kind to you?
Oh, Mistress Haversham? Oh yeah, she's the greatest. She's just up there at the orphanage over there. She points in a direction.
Okay, but
She's the greatest in the world. She feeds us and cares for us and cleans us. Well, everybody has their faults. The whole bath thing every once in a while. But hey,
Elitha say, well, sometime I'll have you introduce us. Right now, we're headed on out to see some important events and such. But if you could tell her next time that you see her that Duchess Elitha of Gelderland will come and visit her organization, I would
Oh, would
be.
you be making a tithe? Would you be making a big donation? We could really use the help, miss.
We may make a investment.
And will all your friends be coming along?
It's up to them.
Considering how many there are, I have actually been considered donating. I don't need a lot of gold anyways.
Oh, we
Gets in
really
the
would
way.
appreciate it, mister. It's a hard knock life for us.
I have a technical question. Are we still within the chaos magic realm?
I have no idea what that means.
It's where the group failed to shut down the Dark Queen and such, and so there's some chaos magic areas of effect, but it depends on where he has this village.
I would have it outside of Illumia, maybe about a day's travel.
Okay.
It's up to you. Is it or is it not? And if so, what does that mean?
It
Is
depends
just
on which
to the
direction.
west?
Let's see here. Do I have that map right handy?
If it's a day to the west or the northwest, then I think it's enough to get out of the way. But if it's any other direction, then you're stuck in it.
Let's say it's right on the border, but not quite in it.
Okay, that works.
That way, I won't have to
Yep.
a chaos magic thing at the moment. Although it's interesting, and I may put the next one I do in it. Cool.
Yeah, you can get the D100 list from the file page.
Okay. Oh, is it just every spell cast may have the chance of going?
May have depending on where you're at within the rings is what the percentage that you'd have to roll for an effect on the if any.
If you're
magic.
If you're in the ring, it starts at 50%. If they roll 50 or lower, then you roll on the chaos magic table. But if they're outside the ring, nothing happens.
Okay.
But the closer you get to the epicenter, the higher it goes. It goes from 50 to 70 to 80 to 95.
Actually, it's up in the northern wasteland, but there's actually one spot in there where it's 100%, where two rings overlap.
Yeah.
But that's down towards the one south of the Evil Shrine, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's down the southern path towards the cities down there. There's one spot where you overlap, but it's a very small area. The DM would perfectly have to put an encounter there for you to get the 100%.
Okay. But anyhow, you were asking, I'm assuming, because you were wanting to cast a spell.
Oh, someone cast a spell.
There's been two casts. That's why it was brought up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like to cantrip and a friend's cantrip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you all like to come visit us at the orphanage, it's just over there. Just bring a donation, please. Instead of triggers, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. It's a hard knock life. Yes, I actually do like the movie Annie.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, the constable will be like, yes, now you kids go wander off somewhere. We've had enough dealing with you. We've got important city business to go to. Be off with you. And then he'll lead you out of town. And you'll go past several farms. The grain is high and wheat is golden in the fields. You can see some people harvesting, going through with their little sickle type things, cutting it down, and throwing it up on a wagon that is being pulled by a cart, by an ox. These are some of the scenes that you go through and you see on your way out of town. The harvest seems to be quite abundant and bountiful. Like, they could really do well this year. And the constable will, that is, unless it all gets stolen out from under us. We've lost quite a bit of what we've harvested already, along with some livestock and other valuables. And then eventually he will take you to the field of Farmer McCready. There it is. That's his home, right there to your left. Feel free to wander around. I'll keep an eye on you and all sorts, just to make sure that you're not pulling one of those goblin guilds on us and robbing the place in order to get us to pay you to stop it. And everybody thought the goblins would do it, but nobody would think the UAG would. What would y'all like to do now that you're here?
I'd like to search for the supposed weird tracks that he was mentioning.
Okie dokie, make a survival check.
18?
Yeah, just wandering around this field for a while. Not only do you see normal human farmer tracks, generally they're associated with wagon wheel ruts and oxen footprint, but you can make out, eventually you do see a bunch of just very small, almost three-toed tracks. And you can make out that they were about 2 days old, which is roughly equivalent to what the farmer McCready told you from his time frame of reference. And they're headed west across a field.
I'm gonna kind of look pretty wild when I find these tracks. Like, with an intelligence of 6 and charisma, I can get pretty fast in the heat of the moment. So I'll just look back and I say, I found something, a trail.
Oh, let's see what you found. And Lyra will go look at the tracks. Is there any way that I would know what kind of tracks they were?
Intelligence nature check?
Nature, okay.
Val will help you with that if you want advantage.
Then you will have it, bitch.
I still only got 12.
Humanoid, maybe?
Doesn't seem to be anything I know.
Yeah, I have it. My character's dumb. She's not going to figure it out on her own.
Yeah.
Elitha will go over and she'll take a look at it, and let's see here. And that will end up being a 16.
For
For looking at the tracks, they're using her nature.
Okay, nature. You're going to see pretty much humanoid as well, but they do appear to be small. You're going to guess that whatever they are some of them are probably 3 feet, maybe 4 feet at the tallest.
Okay, with her race background with certain draconic entities, would something
You will see
pop up?
a slight bit similarity to draconic,
Okay,
maybe.
and
Reptilian in a manner.
she'll in turn and say, "Well, I believe that these were made by some sort of dragon."
I'm going to look to everyone else and I say, are we going on the hunt?
Do we have someone that's able to track these tracks better than I? Because they get outside of the softer soil and stuff from this field, and I know I'll have a hard time. The Duchess says, because usually I have a huntsman that does this for me back at my palace.
I got a 22 to survival to track.
All right. You can follow these tracks quite well. I'm going to give you a little bit off of this. You're like definite. You can follow them until, and you can track them all the way up until they hit town again. But then once they hit town, with the streets that have been, people walking over them constantly in the wagon wheels, you're lost. You lose them in town. But just searching over a little bit to the around it, you find more tracks. These seem to be a little bit more recent, like the last night, and they headed out in the direction, and you can follow them and see that they hit another farm, and then came back. And just with that 22 having a bit of you check to the right of where you were following your original trail tracks, and you do find some more that you come and lose just out of the city that were about 3 to 4 days ago. And you start to notice that they're just going around in a circle around the outside of the city is the pattern you're detecting.
So,
but you can't quite track them in the city because once they hit the city streets, there's too many carts, too many animals, too many people walking around. That is, anything beyond an hour or so old is you're trackable in the city.
So they're going clockwise or counterclockwise?
They're going.
Pardon me?
Clockwise.
Okay. So I say to the group, I think we just have to set up a stakeout on the next thing, the next place they'll go clockwise outside of town.
Constable, what farm would that be?
Well, that would the next farm in that direction, I suppose, would be Farmer Gregor.
Would he be opposed to us setting a trap there?
He's an old man. Probably wouldn't. I wouldn't mind much at all. Most of his offspring have been killed in the wars. He has a couple grandbabies he's got to feed. He's been thinking about sending them up to Miss Haversham's himself because he's just getting old and up in the years. He can't really take care of them anymore. But he's trying his best. Yeah, I see no problem with that at all. If you want, I can make the arrangement with him. As a matter of fact, I would suggest if he knows me and Your appearance seems to disrupt a lot of these villagers. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not used to someone as pretty as me.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the ticket. That's the ticket. Yeah.
That's gotta be it. Cool.
And she'll blow him a kiss.
What is your charisma anyway?
Mine?
Yeah.
I have a 19 in charisma, so +4.
God damn.
Yeah, I rolled really good when I was rolling her up.
Alright, so he's like, you know, he can see it. He's like, you know, now he thinks about it. Yeah, sure. You know, once you get over the fear. But he'll walk away, and then he'll come back in a half hour later saying, he's agreed to let you pretty much have the roam with his land tonight, especially if you can prevent anybody from stealing from him. So what would y'all like to do? You have a couple hours before the sun sets.
What do you think, adventurers? What shall we do here?
I guess it's time to sit and wait and see if we can hunt the hunters, so to speak.
Valdatori, you seem to be someone who's excellent at being unseen. What do you suggest? Where do you suggest we hide?
Dig a pit over there, cover it with grass.
Excellent suggestion. Why don't you have your minions dig us a pit there, Your Highness?
They're busy finding my location of my embassy. As far as that,
Of course.
I'm sure we can make do with our own selves. Nothing wrong with watching you guys do some physical labor.
So, anyone bring a shovel?
And
Just watch you shoveling.
And Elitha will look back at him and said, "Did anyone bring a shovel?" And like, are you serious? You think a duchess is going to carry a shovel?
Well, you brought all your royal baggage. I thought you would bring something with you.
I did. My grandeur.
Is that a foreign language for bullshit?
It is, yes.
Just checking. And then he'll walk over to where he pointed and he'll pull out a spade and start digging.
Alright, what kind of a trench you want to dig?
Trench needs to be about, what are there, 5 people here? Yeah. 6, 7? Hang on a second, I lost count.
I got 5.
Alright, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 of us total, so you're looking probably about 6 foot deep, 5 foot long, and about 3 feet wide. It'll need to be covered with grass. You're basically talking an elongated spider hole.
Yeah. It'd be kind of crunchy, but it could be 6 feet deep. That's like your grave.
Shit, yeah.
Well, I mean, depending upon what we find, and Val's
6 feet
leaning
deep,
toward,
long,
killing
3 feet
things.
wide.
6 feet by 6 feet deep, 5 feet long, and 3 feet wide. Yes.
Uh-huh.
What was the name of this village again?
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. Okay.
And given his leanings towards killing things, never hurts to have a ready grave.
Yeah, it does not.
Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, let's see here.
So we're
Lyra will
standing-
help with digging the trench, but she's just going to cast Mage Hand over and over again and just pull one clump of dirt at a time. So it's going to be like the slowest helping.
You'll be kind of like back up to a tree or something, just kind of sprawled out looking, and just got your hand up, guiding the mage hand like that. Just whoop.
Yeah, I'm playing my flute with one hand and just like waving the mage hand with the other.
If we're using magic, I'm just going to blast it over and over and over again with Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I was gonna stand beside our shoveler, but now I'm not, and I'm gonna be standing away from them, and I'm just gonna be keeping lookout.
You did some arduous work, shoveler. The others aren't much help. But the Eldritch Blast does loosen up some of the clumps a little bit for you. And especially if you hit like a tree root or something, boom, tree root dealt with. But you're a little tired, but doable. You got it done.
Where the hell did that?
And you're all stuck in this, shoulder to shoulder, snug 5 people in a grave. And you can cover it up with some grass. Pretty decent coverage. Pretty well hidden. The sun starts to set in the western sky. And who's keeping watch? What are y'all doing while you're sitting here in this darkness in the grave outside the village of Hearthstone at Farmer Gregor's fields?
Since we're shoulder to shoulder and I don't really have the proper space to meditate, I'll probably just pull out my sword and I'll just sit on my knees and have the sword in front of me, and I'll kind of meditate with the sword in front.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything special besides just standing there?
If she's going to do that, I'm just going to sit on my knees, unsheath my sword, and just stick it in the ground and stare at it.
Until it is time to kill things.
Elitha will unroll her bedroll and put it on the softest piece of ground, and she'll lay down and relax and just
They lay down in the grave unless you don't want to be in the grave.
She's not being in the grave.
Okay.
Come on, we're all dead men walking.
Yeah, but what better way to show that you are below her than by you being actually below her?
So you're just like lounging?
Yes, she's just lounging right at the moment. She's contemplating the information that has been pulled forth so far, and she's working the different aspects that will be the most beneficial to her.
Okay.
Is she laying around while the
Yes.
aforementioned grave is being dug?
Yes.
Okay, well then, Valdetoy will accidentally, from time to time throw dirt on her.
I was going to say that I was going to do that too with my mage hands.
Yeah, let's just. Oh, sorry, so sorry.
Concentration slipped. Sorry, won't happen again, dear.
I thought it was finished.
They just wanted to retcon some.
Yeah, and it was too easy, too good for the thematic.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. All right. As anybody else who's keeping watch outside of the grave?
Well, after my meditation, I will be.
I guess. On the meanwhile, Elitha would be with her passive. Since it's so great.
Okay. I was about to say, we have, yeah.
Let's see.
Can't read my own handwriting.
And let me see here. I'll share that map that I quickly put Hearthstone on and location. Right up over there. It's outside the ring. It's approximately, it's a little further than a day's out from Illumina, but I think it works. It's about a day's outside of the Illumina outpost. And would make sense for a little village to pop up there.
It'll work. I'm okay with it.
All right.
Okay, if everybody would please give me a perception check. That'd be nice.
Dirty 20.
Nat 20.
Okay.
I got a 13.
I got 7.
2.
Okay.
Elitha got a 2.
That was the one I was curious about. Okay. DC was 12, so we had 2 failures. But Alethea being one of them, which is kind of... So those who got above a 12, pretty much everybody, almost, will see coming down through the field 6 of these creatures. They are small, 3 to 4 feet tall, lizard-like, scaly, with little horns on them, and they're creeping in the moonlight over towards Alethea because they see her lounging about. And if you would go ahead and roll initiative, please.
Hey,
Right.
There we go. That's much more like my normal rolls.
Let's see here. Let's put that over here.
I don't regret my initiative roll.
20 point.
Holy Hannah.
Yeah, I have alert, by the way.
Oh, okay. Holy Hannah.
20, 18, 18. Oh, 18 is the roll and
18 is
The
my
first
dex.
numbers, yeah, the first number is the initiative roll. The second number is the dexterity.
oh, okay.
It's
That
just
way,
in
if there's
case-
ties.
yeah, if
Okay.
players tie, it's a quick way to deal with it instead of having to actually have
Fight to the death over who goes first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that idea.
It doesn't happen often, but every once in a blue moon, it comes up.
Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, I'm having difficulty associating people with their character's name at the moment.
I'm Elisha.
Elisha, you go first.
Well, unfortunately, even though I have alert, I don't actually see them. So I'm just going to keep watch. Since I don't see them, I'm just going to keep searching. So I guess I should look for... I'm going to roll my perception again.
Next action is perception.
Yeah, I'm not going to fucking find them with a total of 5.
No, still looking around. Wrong direction, dude.
And that's my turn.
Okay. You're still looking. Next up will be... God. All right, Elisha.
Val,
Val?
I think.
Val?
Yeah,
Okay.
Valdettori. How far are they from Duchess Lazybones over there?
About 20 feet.
About 20 feet?
Yep.
Okay.
About 20 feet from you also, but you're in a hole.
He's going to take a shot at one of them with his crossbow.
All right. Roll it.
19 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that's going to hit.
All right. And damage. Do I have sneak? Do I have advantage because we're hidden?
Yes,
No.
you would. They did not see you.
Okay, so then I get another d6 for sneak attack. So that's going to be a total of 15 points of damage, piercing.
How much?
15.
Wow. Describe your kill.
Well, she loaded his crossbow bolt into his crossbow, took aim at the, not even sure what that is, and shot it in the head. She's twang. So, yeah.
Head just right into the head, falls to the ground. Didn't even really get a chance to scream or anything. The others all stop and look over at it. And you see shock and surprise coming over their faces. What the hell was that?
And then bonus action will be reload his crossbow. And that'll be his turn.
Okie dokie. And next up would be Dell.
No?
No, Dell's got 4, not a 16. My bad.
Yeah. I rolled a nat 20 to find them and a nat 1 for initiative.
You are not prepared to find them.
Okay.
Oh
What
god,
did-
they're actually here.
The kobold's turn. Going before Eludia. Oh, kobolds, yes. 2 of the kobolds will spring forth. Ah! Running up to you, Eludia, striking out with their daggers, which aren't really daggers, they're more sharpened pieces of metal. And one of them just goes and he's blah, blah, but manages to spike around at your ankles a little bit, missing your entirely as you kick away in surprise. But the other one comes up and gets you right into the arm for 6 points of damage.
Damn. All
Big
right.
gap rips into you. That's just FYI, maximum damage.
Alrighty.
But that woke you up.
Well, it will in a brisk morning.
And now you are fully aware of them, Eludia, and it is your turn.
Let's see here. She's going to cast poison spray.
I'm assuming at the 2. One target, though, right?
That's what I'm double checking. I believe it's one target, so it'd be the one that hit her
Okay.
in
Somebody
the arm.
on me into letting them have 2 over that. All right, and that's a con save?
Yep.
-1 con modifier. Now, what happens when he fails?
They take one, they're poisoned, and they take 1d12 poison damage. So it'd be 10 points of poison damage.
Fall to the ground.
And then she'll get up, and then she'll take half her movement back.
Okay.
So that'll put her.
That'll provoke an opportunity attack from one of them.
Well, hopefully it's the one that's poisoned because.
Oh no, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. All right, then there's only one there left. Then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Their plus to hit is +4.
I think it's +4.
You are correct. That would be an 18.
That hits,
That hits Eludia.
and the Ilithia will probably go down.
That would be 4 more points of slashing damage.
Ilitha goes down.
Napping on the job again. Jeez.
That's right.
As you get up, you're back away like, oh my god, what's up? He slashes at your wrist, at your ankle, and hamstrings you as you fall down into a flock on the ground. Alright. Next up will be 2 more. Goblin? Kobold. And they will, what will they do? They saw somebody shoot from the cover. You didn't bonus action hide, so technically they know where you are. They'll fire sling stones at you. Down into the grass. And that is going to miss, and a bad miss. But as these sling stones go flailing around in your direction, some of your grass and your cover has been knocked over to the side, and they can see a little bit better into there now.
Alrighty.
Alright. And then we have Alvar.
Okay. Is there?
Two more kobolds after Alvar. You'd like to rearrange that, Matthew?
I was just adding as we go.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I get to someone in melee with 30 feet of movement?
Oh yeah, they're only 20 feet away from you.
Are they beside each other?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna rush towards them with my sword and just sort of.
Just so what, there's 4 in the original group who have not actually moved yet, and then the 1 left of the 2 that attacked Ilaria that are like that one's solo at the moment. So
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for Cole, 2 of them that are together.
okay, that would be the pack.
Yeah. So I just run towards them, steely-eyed at them, and just sort of partly say, partly yell, "Awaken!" And the sword just bursts into flame, into green flame, as I try to hit one of them. Oh, kind of wished I cursed him. That would have been a crit, but natural 19, so 26.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, I'm two-handing this, so it's a. So that kobold takes 12 points of damage, and his friend takes 5.
They both fall to the ground.
Yeah, as the fire leaped from the sword to the body to the guy next to him.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with 1, 2, 3. I want to roll a d6. 1, 2, 3. Those were the 2 that were supposed to act coming up, or 4, 5, 6. Those were the ones that had already acted. 1, 2, 3. Those were the ones who were supposed to act next. Dead. Anything else for you?
Nope.
All right, Lyra. You're up. What would you like to do, Lyra?
Okay, so the one near Ilitha is still alive, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna poke my head up out of the hole and shout at it. Hey, you, fatty! Lay off the sweets or I'll have to row you out of here, and cast vicious mockery at it. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god, and it fails. It feels really bad about itself.
All right, it takes
too many sweets. Oh my god.
It takes 3 points of psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll if it's still alive.
It is still alive.
And with my bonus action, I'll be like, sweet princess, maybe come back to life for us here. And she will cast Healing Word. So, there's my Healing Word spell. It's like what, 1d4 plus
4 plus Chris mod.
Okay.
4 plus 4.
Okay, so you get 7 hit points back.
Hey. Not bad, Olivia.
And that'll be my turn. I'll still stay, like, I'll duck my head back down a little bit, but you'll still probably be able to see my horns.
Yeah. All right, back to the top of the order. Elisha, what would you like to do?
So I'm aware of the presence of all the kobolds now.
Yes, you are.
Okay. How far is the one away from me and quote unquote the princess?
About 20 feet to your left. The others are 20 feet straight ahead.
Can I move to both of them possibly in a single movement with 40 feet?
Yes, actually, you could.
Okay, I will move to the one kobold attacking Ilitha,
Okay.
and I'll attack him with my short sword
Okie dokie.
for a 23 to hit.
That'll hit it. And I'm assuming we'll kill it since it only has 2 hit points left.
Yep, I dealt 11.
Right. Would you like to describe your kill?
I'll just run up behind it and I'll stop swiftly and just decapitate what little neck it has.
Decapitation. Always nice.
Well, that's one way to lose weight.
And then I'll use the rest of my movement to go to the other two.
Okay.
And I am going to use my bonus action for Flurry of Blows, which lets me make 2 unarmed attacks.
Yeah.
The first attack is a 16 to hit
That'll hit.
for 7 damage.
That will kill another kobold.
And 18 to hit for the third hit
That will hit as well.
for 6 damage.
That will also. Would you like to describe your kills on these punched death kobolds? Punched, yeah. Or kicks, or however you like it. Would you like to describe it?
Yeah, I will, after decapitating the other one, I will just pretty much lunge and away from it and run the remaining distance. Then when I get to it, I will
You'll hear. Don't we need to speak with one of them?
they'll be incapacitated, so yeah. I will, for the one, I will do a sweeping kick and just make him fall over and badly hurt him. But the other one, which after that sweep, I'm going to kill this one. I'm going to do just a dragon kick, and I'm going to flip and just crack his skull open with my foot, with my heel.
Wow.
Then I'm gonna fall on my back because I haven't mastered the move yet, and then push myself, and then just lay on the ground.
Need to work on the landing.
It's a hard move. I'm practicing.
Okay, let's just say that we're out of combat at the moment. Then it's the last one falls, as well as the slayer of it. What would y'all like to do?
Well, knowing that I only knocked the one out, I am going to roll over to it and get out my healing kit and stabilize it.
Okay. Give me a medicine check.
26 with a nat 20.
It is. Let's just say it is stable. You stabled the fuck out of that thing.
Never been more stable. It's even mentally stable now.
It did have a little bipolar in it, but now it just feels okay with the world.
So, I'll look over to everyone and I say, "This one's still alive. If you still need him."
All right. I just want a quick rundown of what you would do in the next roughly 30 seconds or so. Luthia, what would you do?
Let me unmute myself here.
Okay.
Elitha will be thinking that she's talking, but nothing came out at the time. And she will be dusting herself off and standing up and looking around and saying, that was rather indignified.
All right. So just be dusting yourself off for the next 30
Yep.
seconds after standing up. Okay. Lyra, what will you be doing?
I'll go up and join Eulacia with the kobold. I'll sort of like, as I walk by Ilitha, I'll sort of give her a look over and be like, oh no, she's fine. She's already complaining. She's definitely fine. And join Eulacia.
Help him with that. Okay. And then Val, what would you be doing?
Sorry, I was muted twice. Val is going to seek cover again. And his stealth roll is going to be a 22 total.
All right. So you jump, I assuming, back into the grave and
Yeah.
pull some grass over you.
Yeah.
All right. That's what you'll be doing. And then Alavar, what will you be doing?
I'm just going to sheath my sword and just go over to the kobold.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Give me a perception check from Eulacia, Alavar, and Lyra.
I got a 22.
15.
And Eulacia?
Oh, I only heard those two.
So your perception was that low?
Modified 20.
You all will all quickly notice as you're tying up the kobold and medicing him and just, bent over him because you're like, hey, this one's still alive. I've got him. He'll be captured, right? As you're looking over doing that and scouring around the field, you'll notice that there's the head of a small child lying by you. And
Like a severed head of a small child?
the severed head of a small child. And as you look around, you'll see that the bodies of the kobolds that you all had killed, one of them is a small child with an arrow stuck right in his head. Another one's got a cracked skull, some bleeding from it. Little 4-year-old girl. Pigtails.
Oh, shit.
Are you going life of pie on us?
I haven't seen that.
Hmm.
However, you do have a kobold tied up.
Eulacia, did you kill a little girl?
They weren't little girls when I killed them.
There's a 9-year-old boy over there. Then
I got a 14 Arcana.
well, obviously you're aware that there are many ways magic can change things. Happens all the time. Anywhere from a disguise self to a polymorph to, this shape change. You can't really tell which one this is. But, there are many ways that some people, you are aware of that. You do get a sense that this is magic as well.
So I'm going to, realizing that these were once kobolds and now they're kids,
else.
I'm gonna.
You can tell it's not illusion.
So I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together, and I say the kids. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna walk to the corpses that were near Ilitha and look them over.
Kids. One's a 7-year-old girl, the other's a 8-year-old boy.
I'm gonna look to everyone else and I'm gonna say those were kobolds when we were when we saw them, right?
Yeah?
Yes. I don't kill kids.
You just did, Illitha.
Well,
Let's put them in the. Let's put them in the grave you dug for them that you pre-plant.
You bury them if you wish.
I might also remind you that the one that you kept alive is still a kobold.
Lyra, while they're looking at the other ones, is going to go up now. No, like realizing that that these have changed somehow. She is going to start humming a little tune and put her hands on the kobold that's still alive, just unconscious, and cast Healing Word on it.
Okay.
So it'll heal for 5 points.
So that
Or-
max,
yeah.
actually. All right. And as you hum the little song into it, suddenly its eyes prop open. However, I'm assuming you had it tied.
Yeah. I assumed they had finished tying it. That's why I did that.
Okay, so he's tied up and he's trussed up pretty well, but his eyes will pop open, and you see his otherwise just cold, shallow breathing that he had before suddenly become quite agitated. He'll start squirming. Let me go! Let me go!
Stop moving.
You should pay for this!
Stop. Just what is going on here?
You hurt me! That's what's happened here! How dare you!
You came and attacked us. You nearly killed our comrade. But your children? Explain this to me, please.
I'm going to stare right at the kobolds and with my cold look and say, tell us what's going on now. I rolled a 21 intimidation.
He's intimidated. I'll give you that. All his friends are dead. He's tied up. He just had a wager knock on his head. Yeah. He's scared shitless. I'll tell you what's going on. You're all going to die for this. How dare you? How dare you? That's what's happening. You'll burn. You'll be paid. Pain, I tell you.
Were you a human child first, or a kobold first?
I'm a child. I'll always be a child. Forever and ever. I am a child.
All right, I'm gonna walk over.
Why do you look like a kobold if you were a child?
This is my night self. This is what we look like at night.
You're trying to say you're a were-kobold?
Huh?
Are you trying to say you're a were-kobold?
No! I'm a child. I'm a child, but at night, we get to do all sorts of fun things. During the day, we must behave, but at night, we can do whatever we want. This is what we look like when we can do what we want. There's our day selves and our night selves.
Did your mistress give you your night self?
Yeah, we used to have to be good all the time and sleep at night. Now we can stay up all night.
Yeah, but did she turn you into this?
See, I don't know how it happened. I just know that it happened, and Mistress says we can't tell anybody else.
Well, it seems that whoever this woman is needs to die for weaponizing children.
We're not being weaponized. We're not being what's that word? That's not what's going on. We just get to play and have fun and do whatever we want at night. It's a reward
Why
for
are
good
you-
during the day.
Why are you stealing stuff from the surrounding farms?
Because we're hungry. We need stuff. We are many. We need stuff.
Need an awful lot of stuff for a couple kids.
Couple. This is just my friends that we hang out with. There's lots more of us back at Mrs. Haverson's home for orphans.
How many more?
1, 2, 3, more than 3.
But less than 5, right?
I don't know how much 5 is. I've only learned 3.
Is it all of you?
Yeah. Yes, we're all kids. Except for Mistress Haverson. She's not a kid.
Mr. Samerson?
Haverson.
The madam that looks after the orphanage.
She will make you pay for this. She protects us kids.
Yeah.
As
Well,
long as we're good
how
at
can
paying, we
she
do what we
make
want.
us pay if she is just a normal caretaker?
Because she's big?
So are we. And we outnumber her.
Well, yeah, but she's stern. She got that finger wag going. And then occasionally she'll use your middle name. Oh! John Michael Smith, get over here. You've never heard that before in your life.
You know, I used to be mad at my father, but I think I might just spank this kid to death.
I think there's been enough death tonight.
I was... Maybe he'll learn his lesson. The second time I send him to the darkness.
You'll learn your lesson.
I just pick him up by the bindings.
Throw him in the grave with his friends.
Damn, throw him in a grave with dead bodies. You're fucking cold, dude.
I think it would be a better idea to bring him into town so that in the morning they can witness his transformation and we're not labeled child killers of the UAG.
Well,
Could be an inquiry. Sorry.
there's already children's blood upon your weapons.
There's no blood upon my weapons.
A to the is O, B to the is A. Not guilty, y'all got to feel me. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to start heading back to town.
Oh, that's what happens when combatants shouldn't be in the battlefield.
They were combatants. And they still are combatants. Intent equals action. They intended to harm us. We defended ourselves. If anybody says differently, we can kill them too.
I agree.
A great dictator mentality.
I should mention that in our culture we make a distinction between combatants and foes. Combatants in our culture are understood as weaker foes that aren't truly worth your time.
Yeah, well, just to point out, one of these things that really wasn't worth our time dropped Her Highness over there with one hit. So, just saying.
And she'll say, no, actually, two. Get your facts right. Children Slayer.
Ah, yes, two. Yes, two hits instead of one. That makes it so much better.
Well,
I believe
at least
you poisoned one of them before it dying a choking death.
Yeah, I'll sleep all right at night.
Let's just get this nightmare over with.
Nightmare. Is that
I
what
just
you think
like
this is?
to point out, this is what Mrs. Haversham's home for wayward children looks like.
Looks like one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Is that what that is?
That's
I
what
was-
it kind
I
of makes me think of.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe it'd be a giant boot, but that was just me.
It looks like the psych ward. Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
I just typed in orphanage into Google Images, and this is one of the. I can't.
It's got barred windows. Are those bars?
Yeah. It's barred windows.
Dude, I have a friend who grew up in an orphanage. She can tell you freaking horror stories about that place.
Yeah. Yeah, I could believe that.
Oh yeah.
I'll be right back.
That's one experience I've never had to cherish, thank God.
Yeah. If you recall, Larry Flint's wife, who died of AIDS,
Yeah.
she was in that same orphanage with her.
Damn.
Yeah, they grew up in the orphanage together.
But Elitha will readjust her bedroll.
Okay.
And lay back down.
So she'll be left behind with the bodies.
Yep.
Are y'all taking the captive back to town or leaving it in the grave with the other dead children?
Nah,
No.
we're not.
I'd-
Just take it with us.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be taking it back to town. And I would knock on the farmer's door before we left and be like, "Don't come out here for a while." And if you do, Her Highness left a mess.
Are you all putting the bodies in the grave?
That's up to Her Royal Highness.
I didn't touch any of the bodies.
Neither did Valdatori.
Elitha kicked two of them in there, the two that messed with her and knocked her.
Kind of kick and drag their bodies over there into the grave
Yep.
and let them fall in?
Yep.
The only time she's ever gotten her hands dirty.
Yeah, there's a link to the asylum that they used in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay, cool. Alright, so you're going to leave 3. You're going to taking 1 tied up. You want to gag him?
Might as well.
Okay. Tied and gagged, taking with you 2 of the bodies are getting kicked into the grave. The other 3 are just.
If the party is leaving and leaving them behind, Elitha will go ahead and make sure that they're in the pre-made grave.
Okay, so all the bodies will be in the grave, maybe covered with a little grass or something. Maybe not filled in, but at least.
Well, they'll be covered. Elitha is going to wait for the party to leave as they are, and she's laying on down to make it look like she's going back to rest.
Uh-huh.
As they get far enough away, she'll start a fire and she'll burn the bodies.
Okay.
And then after she gets that done, she'll pack her stuff up and head back into town to catch up with the party.
All right, so you'll kind of run ahead, panting, catch up with them as they're heading right into town.
More or less, she won't pant.
Okay.
That's not dignified.
All right. Inwardly, she'll be wanting to. But she
Oh,
will not
that may be.
But she will not let that be seen. Okay. All right. What would y'all like to do as soon as you hit town? What would you like to do?
We're gonna talk with the
I want to go wake up the mayor.
yeah.
It's still kind of darkish out. Okay.
Elitha will look for her 2 minions.
We'll look
If
for
you're
a-
lucky, they'll be in jail for their safety.
Let me see here. It's in the middle of the night. Let's just say on your way to the mayor's house, you will find them sleeping next to the tavern.
Oh, okay. And Elitha will go and kick them to arouse them.
Matt, what the hell's going on here?
That's no way you speak to me.
Oh,
What did you find? What information did you find for me?
We found the perfect place for the embassy. It's just a block away from the city hall. It used to be a saloon with stables, but it's mainly been burned down. But the foundation is still good. The location is fine, and we talked to the owner, and you can get it for the low price of 100 bars of gold press platinum.
And
just give us the platinum, and we'll take care of all the paperwork tomorrow. You'll have it by sundown.
won't be happening. You'll introduce me to him, and
the price could go up.
And that means what to me? A duchess?
I'm just saying, yes, but as a rich and powerful person, you understand that the deal is best struck when the iron is hot. Therefore, according to the rules of acquisition, number 214.
She'll say, I got a hot iron for you. What about listening to the kids? Did you hear anything from the kids that I asked?
We kind of listened in a little bit to a group of them as they were playing, and they were talking about going out and having fun tonight when they could do whatever they wanted. Like they got this saying, they're good during the day, but at night they can do whatever they want. So I would say that they're out roaming around, getting into trouble at night. This Miss Haverton, they apparently doesn't keep a good eye on them after sundown.
Maybe they need a better mentor to look over them.
For the low price of 5 bars of gold press platinum, we will take them under the care of the Goblin Merchant Alliance.
We'll have to discuss things.
Per diem, that is.
And she'll say, "Here's 2 coppers for you."
Coppers. They'll take it and they'll bite into it, stick it in between their teeth. They got sharp-like teeth, but they're not quite, right next to each other's little gaps and stuff like that. And it's like they're measuring the thickness of the copper coin to see how much value it has by wedging it in their teeth. Well, it's a nice tip.
And if they take a good look at it, they'll see Elitha's face pressed upon the coins.
Oh, like coins of elephant. Never had these before.
Well, I think it's time for us to move on to the mayor's house.
Okay. You can get to the mayor's house, and it's a well-to-do house for this area. It's a small town. It doesn't seem to have much damage, or if it did, it's been mainly repaired by now. It is wood, as is most of the dwellings up here. 2-story, large by this town standards, but not really that overly impressive at all. You can bang and beat on the door, and it'll take a couple minutes before finally, after repeated banging and yelling, you'll see a light flicker on in one of the windows, and it'll open, and you can see sticking his head out from the window, wearing a nightcap and bedclothes, holding a candle, is the mayor. He'll be like, "For the love of all that's sacred, what are you doing here in the middle of the night?"
I hold up the kobold.
What is that bloody thing? It's squirming.
The children of the city.
No, I know that kids can sometimes be seen as a nuisance. But I swear to you, our kids are not little devil children running around that thing is.
I dare to disagree.
Sure. What evidence do you have to prove this is a child?
By sunrise, he'll revert to a human child.
And how do I know this devilry isn't your doing? And instead of looking at,
Because we can just leave and give you the child. So it could just be you and it. I think it's a him. Didn't really ask their name.
sure, we'll call it him. I have no wish for whatever that wretched creature is to be left in my house.
Well,
So
you
why don't
wanted
we
to
leave him
find
with a
you
constable?
wanted us to find the issue. We found the issue.
Kobolds, or whatever that creature is.
So,
Look, Mayor, believe us or not, these creatures have been responsible for stealing. If you choose not to believe us and we let this thing go, and it turns out not to be one of the children of your town, then you are back at square one and your town is doomed.
No, by no means am I suggesting you let it go. No. I'm just simply saying that one thing has not been responsible for all the mishaps that have occurred here recently.
yeah. All the children of the town look like this at night and do stuff like raid houses and that. Houses and farms.
Well, at least the orphans, anyways.
The orphans. What does Miss Havisham's Home for Wayward Children have to do with this?
It's a curse.
And how do you propose that curse be broken?
I don't know.
Good question. Some of my party here believe that death is the answer to that cure of this curse. Others believe that maybe a good dosing in the river or water or the well to drown them, to release the spirit might work. And I've been told other towns like to burn them as far as that. But there are sometimes in my land where we actually call in the holy ones to see about maybe evicting the curse and laying it upon an enemy.
So, let me get this straight. What you're saying, as he peers down farther out of the window, looking down over you, is that we kill all the children of the village, or we, kill or exercise them.
And Mayor, stop looking at my bosom from up there, she'll say.
Oh, my humblest apologies.
No wonder you stumble so much in your speech. And wipe the drool.
Pull his hand up over his eyes like, sincerest apologies. Duchess. Perhaps I should come down.
Perhaps.
The window will shut, and you can hear some banging around as he's walking around to the house, and then after a second, you'll hear latching and bolting, undoing of the door, and it'll open, and he'll have an overcoat on over his normal bedclothes, and he'll have slipped some shoes on. and he'll have a lantern that he will light. Be like, now, what you're saying is this thing has anything to do with Madame Haversham's Home for the Wayward Children, then perhaps we should go there and see what is going on. Although I can assure you that what's going on is a bunch of sleeping, snoring children with visions of sugar plums dancing in their head.
Well, if it is, it's because they've already stolen them all.
It is yet to be decided whether you're a fool or an idiot.
Why not both?
I personally prefer neither.
Anyhow, shall we be off? Duchess, Your Highness, do you require any tea or coffee or anything for this late hour?
A grand,
We don't have time.
a grand tea
Get
would be
yourself-
nice.
We don't have time. Get yourself dressed. We need to get over to the orphanage.
He has servants.
We don't have time. The faster we get over
He
there,
has
the faster we
servants.
find out that there aren't any kids in the little beds with sugar plums dancing anywhere, let alone kobolds or whatever these things actually are. So, yeah, let's go.
Rather hasty, aren't you? You gotta stop and sip the tea once in a while.
You stop and sip tea or sleep or do whatever it is you need to do. Mayor, you need to get your butt over to the orphanage so that we can actually get this done. You wanted this solved. It's been solved. You won't believe us, so you need to see it with your own eyes. The longer you dilly-dally around doing this, that, or the other thing, the longer they're going to have to get organized, and then who knows? Take it out on you, take it out on us. I'm done with this. Let's go.
Yes, forgive me. I was not trying to dilly-dally as much as I was trying to offer Her Highness the courtesy that a lady of her station requires.
Courtesy later. Right now, you've got a mystery to solve, and
Yeah.
we're out of Scooby snacks.
Thanks.
But not tea.
Her Highness doesn't need any tea. She'll be up all night with that. Come on.
Yeah, Your Highness, your friends do seem to be your companions. My bad. They're not at the same station as you. They couldn't surely possibly be your friends, but your companions, nonetheless, are in such a turmoil to get on. Would it be all right, Your Highness, if we were gracious enough to allow them this disparaging to go now and then later?
I walk away.
Done. Already walking out of the house.
Lyra's walking with you guys, and she, as she does, she's gonna whistle really sharply and mage hand the mayor, like just in the back, to try and push him forward.
Is that okay if we have scones afterwards to make up for the delay and the tea?
And Elitha will say there's no account for bad behavior, but it's not your bad behavior.
Right,
So
it's yours. Let's go. Come on, we got things to do.
I'll give you that this boon and this grace of this boon to you. I know it's not of your making, of this impetus and rushed act.
Yes, I can assure you, as you're walking along behind them, that our village would highly be grateful for any embassy that you would build here, and that our manners and decorum would be fitting for one of your stature at all times. We would appreciate the investment.
Yes.
And then you will walk up, and I've already shown you what the place looks like. What would you like to do when you get to the door or to the place?
front door in.
Periodically, though, I will give you that you will see, like down a side street or something, you'll see the glimpse of some small creatures scurrying around in the light, and as they see you all coming, the guy is carrying a lantern. They will scurry and hide away.
Elitho will say, "My God, dear Mayor, you have a rat problem within your city limits. You need to get your ratter to do his job."
But bigger than rats. Would y'all like to investigate any of those possible other sightings, or would you just like to head straight to the house?
Head straight.
And like, oh, I can positively assure you that there are no rats, and if so, we will put all the city efforts into eradicating such problem. It will be on the agenda at our very next town meeting. Your Highness, this shall not stand. All right. Y'all come up to the door, and you hear, it's not quiet inside. You can't quite make out what's going on, but occasionally you can hear some noises, voices. There is things going on inside Miss Haverson's home for wayward children. What would you like to do?
Kick in the front door.
Damn.
The mayor will be like about to kick you. He'll be like, "Shouldn't we knock first?"
This is knocking.
Bam. Okay, give me a strength athletics check.
Dirty 20.
Bam. The door doesn't quite come falling in, but you bust it off the lock, and the door jam does splinter a little bit.
Do it again.
Well, I mean, yeah, you opened it. All right, the next one, when it does, just slam open. And you can reveal inside, what the hell? Sitting in a rocking chair with two small kids on her, with a lantern beside them, holding up a book, and appears to be an old elderly woman reading to two small children.
Damn.
One fish, two fish, blue fish, red fish.
Exactly. Let's go.
And she looks up at you and is like, oh my, whatever are you doing here?
Returning a lost child, and I hold up the kobold.
Oh, little Eric. What happened to little Eric? Has he been a bad boy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They tried to kill us and rob a farm.
Oh, he's been such a naughty boy. I'm sorry. My serious condolences for that. I'm just...
Yeah, well, if
I'll
we...
make sure it doesn't happen again. You all like some hard candy?
No.
Or there's
That doesn't, because you knew about this, and you didn't inform us.
I'm sorry,
that...
I'm supposed to inform you of everything I do here in the orphanage?
Well, considering because they were trying to kill us, we returned the courtesy.
You killed some of my children?
Well, they were kobolds and they were trying to kill us. We weren't aware of them being small human children.
What are you, and Elitho say, what are you saying? I don't recall us killing anything.
What have you done? She starts to stand up and she holds the lantern up. What have you done with my children?
They're dead, lady. D-E-E dead.
How dare you? You insufferable sub-creatures will pay for this and she picks up and she slams the lantern down on the ground. And as she does such, the light goes out, but there's still moonlight. You can still see a little bit and everything. But as this falls into the room with this lantern, the children turn into or appear to be kobolds again. And she looks like. Give me a second, and I'll tell you what she looks like.
One.
Old and gnarled, and not exactly human at all. Almost a monstrous lady, almost 6.5 feet tall.
Love it.
Long, stringy, black, almost gray hair.
So like a hag?
Yeah, kind of like a hag.
Okay, cool. So there's no light in here right now, right?
Just moonlight. It would be considered dim light.
Okay. So can the mayor see this vestige of effervescent beauty?
Why, yes, you can.
All right. So if the mayor can see it, he's just going to kind of, Valdatore is just going to kind of look at the mayor and then look at the old hag and be like, "Still want that tea, mayor?" As he draws both his short swords.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna roll an initiative. And just FYI, the mayor's response will be like, "Oh my god!" He's got a lantern as well, but apparently his lantern light is not affecting their
Must be
appearance.
like sunlight dawn or something like that.
Yeah, it was her lantern is a little special. Just
Okay. And I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me roll their initiative. I'll go ahead and roll that one as a separate one as well. Oh, wow. They suck. Okay, let me see here. I got 15 in 15 minutes. We're in his
Rolling initiative?
Yeah.
Okay.
The old lady just turned into a hag.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
She runs an orphanage, obviously.
What initiative did the hag get?
a hag got a 10, and one kobold has a 7, the other has an 8.
Yeah, dead last.
So Alvar will go first. Let me just read something real quick, Alvar.
Eulacia and Val got the exact initiative.
Oh, really? I don't see. Did I not see Val? Oh, yeah, Eulacia got 22, Val got a 23. Oh, there's Alvar got a 22. 18. Son of a bitch. It's up to you. I care not.
Yeah.
You can go first, Val.
Oh,
But Alvar will go first.
yeah. Yeah.
Going back.
Time.
Matthew, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to drop the child and grab my sword and go to attack the hag.
Turn within 30 feet of the hag. You can see the hag's true form must make. Will you first give me a wisdom saving throw?
Okay.
I are back, and wisdom saving throw is in.
That was a natural one.
You are frightened.
That means I can't move closer and I attack with disadvantage.
Correct. So, I think you had disadvantage on 2 while the sorcerer's in the strike.
You're speaking a little light. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
throw at the end of each turn.
Okay. So, did I get to melee with it?
Negative. You cannot get closer to it.
Okay. So after my turn, I'm going to reroll my wisdom save.
Well, I mean, you can do something else. You just can't move closer to get in the melee. So. Just
Oh yeah. Then I'll launch an Eldritch Blast at it then, with disadvantage. Yeah. That was a 12.
That will be a miss.
Then that's my turn, and I got a 19 on my wisdom save.
You will make it this time.
So, Val?
That's it for your turn?
Yeah.
Alright. Next up will be Eulacia. What would you like to do?
So I have to make a save against her fear aura?
Something like that. His horrific appearance.
Okay. So I got a total of 24. Or
You're
no,
cool.
just 22, sorry.
You are not frightened of her at all.
So I'm just gonna run up straight to her, and I'm going to attack with my short sword.
Alright.
With a 9 to hit, which is
That will.
gonna probably miss.
Yeah, that will.
And as a bonus action, I'm gonna kind of try to give her a swift kick.
Alright.
With a 12.
Okay. That was a miss as well.
Okay. Then that's my turn.
Alright. Next up will be. Oh, okay. Cool. Next up will be Val. What would you like to do, Val? You're looking at her. Would you like to give me a saving throw, please? Wisdom.
Yeah, I got a 19.
All right, you're cool.
All right, and he's going to attack with the first short sword, and that's going to be a 21 to hit.
That will miss. I'm just fucking with you. You nail her.
Okay, so that's going to be.
For a second, though, didn't I?
Yes, actually you did. I was like, oh shit, we're in trouble. That's going to be 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 8 points of damage, piercing, and then the second swing. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
That will hit as well.
All right, and that's going to be 6 points of damage.
All right. 2 short swords go into her. And she screams in agony as they both penetrate her. And she picks up her huge staff and is about to bring it down upon your head.
Oh crap!
But it is. Anything else for you, Val?
Nope. That's it.
All right, Alithia, it is your turn.
All right. Elitha will go ahead and cast Sacred Flame on her.
Oh. That's a dex saving throw, is it?
Yeah, Dex DC 13.
She fails.
And that will be, let's see here.
D8 radiant.
Yeah, I know. I just got to roll it.
Yeah.
That will be 7 points of radiant damage.
Boom! Big explosion of sparkly, flurry lights goes off right in her face. And she's about to bring her club down on you. It's like, ah! She's puts her hand to her face, covering her eyes. It burns! It burns!
And then Elitha will step in front of the mayor to protect him.
I swear I will drag you down to the fiery pits of Gehenna and take your soul with me and devour it myself there. All right, that would be all for you, Alithia?
Yep.
Her turn. Her turn. She can't death flare anybody. Okay. As she brings her big staff down upon Val. Let's see here. What's Val's AC? Boy. Oh, 17 to hit Val.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Oh shit! For damn near max damage, 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yep, Val's down.
Down?
Yep, down.
Oh, sorry.
It's all
Most of these
good.
people are level 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were the multi-level guy.
Nope.
That's me.
Okay. Anyway, boom! Brings it right down on your head as you crumple to the floor. Now get down, my pretties! Get down! And the two kobolds will go, and it is now their turn, one right after the other, I believe. We'll go on Eulacia, who happened to get in the melee with this Haversham. And the first one will swing at Eulacia for a dirty 20. And the second one will bring her little sharpened shiv kind of dagger-like thing, and just kind of, what kind of armor are you wearing, Eulacia? Just for,
She's not wearing any armor. She's just wearing clothing.
nimble, and you dodge out of the way quickly as the second one comes to hit you. But the first one does get you right into the side, in a kidney almost. The front side, though, for 6 points of piercing, slashing, whatever a dagger would be.
Piercing.
Nice. Max damage, just FYI. Leave our mistress alone! Leave our mistress alone! She takes care of us! And the other one will miss horribly. Back up to Lyra. What would you like to do, Lyra?
Well, unfortunately, I'm mostly tapped out for spells. She's going to look at the hag and be like, "Hey, ugly! You ever try some beauty tips? A little makeup goes a long way." Vicious mockery again. Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, and as she fails, realizing that, she just hasn't been doing the skin care regimen that she should have been.
So she takes 3 points of psychic damage. She has disadvantage on her next attack.
Okay.
And with my bonus action, I will clap and I will be, "Eulacia, you so fine, you blow my mind, Eulacia, Eulacia." And you can take a D6 inspiration.
Just FYI, I'm stealing that sometime as well.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
and she's just thinking to herself, "Damn straight."
All right, Alavar, you're up. What would you like to do? Just FYI, everybody is now immune to the horrifying appearance of the hag.
I think Matt dropped, so hopefully he'll be back in a second.
Okay. We can either give it a minute or we can skip to the next person and then feed him in when he's good. Come on, doggy. In case y'all haven't heard, I've been having to get up and let my dog in and out of the house every 10 minutes.
Luckily, Jack's been sleeping for most of this, so I haven't had a cat meowing very loudly in the background.
I heard her when we first started.
Yep.
All right.
Is that Matthew back? No?
No, not yet.
Okay. No, I'm just, I know I'm rolling some dice in prep for what I'm going to do
Oh, okay.
as far as that. So
Well,
if it happens.
4 level 1 characters, I was going to use a goblin boss and, the stats block of a goblin boss. And
I'm glad you stayed with the hag.
okay, I like hags. Well, I mean, I was still going to have the appearance of a hag, make it act as a hag and everything. It was just going to have the stat block for that. So that way, as a reaction, whenever you're like, "I smack her," oh, one of the kids jumps in the way. No, quit killing the kids.
I'd say go on and feed Matt back on in. It doesn't look like he's popping back in quickly.
All right, doggy day. I agree with that. Elisha, you're up then. What would you like to do?
So I'm going to use my short sword attack on the hag.
All right.
And I'm going to miss with a 9. And I'm going to use my flurry of blows and spend my last key point. And I'm going to make one unarmed attack against one of the kids.
Okay.
For a 12 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. For 6 points of damage, and I'm aiming to knock them out.
Okay. I was about to say, describe your kill. Yeah. You all have learned.
So when I miss the sword strike, I'll just pivot on my one foot and kind of heel kick the kid. And a 15 to hit the other one.
That will hit as well.
And then I'll just use the momentum from the other kick and kick this one and deal 7 damage and kick the other one in the chest.
And will it be a knockout blow?
No, it will be a knockout too, because now I know they're kids.
Oh, okay.
So I knock the 2 out, and I bring my attention back to the hag, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. Both of the goblins, the kobolds, fall to the ground. Say you kick them and they get knocked back into the wall and then fall to the ground in a crumpled baldness. And she looks at her like, "How dare you!" And Val, if you would please give me a death saving throw.
That's a 10.
That's good. Good. I'm assuming that's all for you then, right?
Yes. That's all he's going to be able to do.
Alithia, you're up. What would you like to roll? Oh, never mind.
Go ahead with Matt.
Yep, Matt, what would you like to do?
Sorry, power flashed and
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Who doesn't have tech issues? Just FYI, we went ahead and skipped your turn. Only technically 2 people have gone. Elisha swung a sword at the hag and missed, but then proceeded to drop kick each of the kobolds and just knock them out.
Okay. I am going to use my bonus action to curse the hag.
I curse people! I'm not cursed!
So.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my main action to Green Flame Blade.
Ah, okay. So you walk up into melee with her?
Yep. I can use my Hexblade Curse on anyone within 30 feet of me. And I'm going to... So, I unsheath my sword and say... awaken, and fire bursts from the blade, and... I'm going to... I got another 12 to hit.
That will be a miss. Anything else for you?
No, that's it.
Alright. And then Al, so Alithia, what would you like to do?
First thing is bonus action. Elitha will go ahead and cast Healing Light on Val, and he'll get 7 points back. And then cast.
Thank you.
Then cast Sacred Flame on the hag.
That's another dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
And as she fails, not the most nimblest creature in the world.
She failed it
Yep,
again?
she did.
All right. And she gets this time 6 points of radiant damage.
Explosion of sparkly light goes off in her face. She's like, not again! I hate the light! As it burns her face, and you can see scarring almost like a radiation burns going down as half her face is melted away. I've
And
never seen flame be this useful before.
Elitha will say to the mayor, since she got in front of him, is Stay behind me, but keep your hands off my tuchus.
Yes, your Highness. I would never be so forward as to touch your tuchus without your permission at first.
I felt something.
Alright. It is now the hag's turn. She's feeling bad about herself and her makeup routine, so she is going to bring the club disadvantagedly down on Eulacia for knocking her kids out. And I don't even need to know what the one that fell off was, because the first one missed. And she had disadvantage, so yay. And she is feeling real bad about it. She just brings at you. I'm assuming you have some sort of armor or something, Eulacia?
No, I am a monk, so I get my unarmored defense, which gives me my wisdom and my dex.
So as she's bringing it down on you, you do some matrix type back bends to get out of the way, as she thoroughly just misses you. And then, coming from a hallway, running down the hallway, you see a kid, and a kobold, running, and will leap up onto one of the ones hanging in the back. That would be Lyra. She'll leap onto Lyra, wielding her little rusty shiv type thing. However, she will miss, as your leather armor just isn't quite scratched by this creature. But you are now in melee, Lyra, with another kobold / kid.
Okay.
Lyra, your turn.
Okay. I'll look at the hag and I'll be like, now that I think of it, you don't really smell all that good either. Have you tried a little soap, maybe some deodorant? It's really off-putting. Try to make her feel even worse about herself.
It's close. What's her charisma?
It's, yeah.
I'm making goat's blood. Oh, that is kind of stinky after a little bit. She fails.
All right. That's another 3 damage.
And disadvantage.
Yep. And as a bonus action, she'll look at Valdatori and say, it's Illith the spell that got you back in the fight. Now rise up, Valdatori, to this hag. Murder her face and kill her so we can get out of this place. Just do it. And you get an inspiration.
Did you just sing that to Eye of the Tiger?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I heard that correctly.
Yep, that was Eye of the Tiger.
Awesome.
I think the last line is inspiration of the bard instead of Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
Inspiration of the bard. Alright. And you can have advantage. No, what's it called?
It's a
D6. Yeah, Bardic Inspiration.
Self, Lyra, for singing.
Oh, sweet.
Alavar, back up to you again. What would you like to do?
I'm going to take another swing.
Alright.
Okay. This time it was a 22.
22 will hit.
Is there an enemy within 5 feet of her?
Enemy? No.
Okay.
The kobold that showed up running down the halls jumped on the rear end guard.
Okay. So that's 15 points of slashing damage.
Oh, damn!
And hex cursed enemies, I get to add my proficiency to damage.
Okay. Does she have a... I have a plane shift for this one. That sucks. I like to plane shift my hat. Fuck you, I'm out. Yeah. Anything else for you there, Alavar?
No, don't have any bonus actions.
Okay, Eulacia, you're up. What would you like to do?
First, attack the hag with my short sword.
Okay.
with a 23.
That will hit the hag.
Almost dropped the dice. For 8 points of piercing damage.
That will, would you like... Nope, still up.
All right. Bonus action attack to attack with kick.
All right, roll it.
And I'm going to use my bardic inspiration because I rolled horribly. For a total of 13. It's probably not going to hit.
Yes, missed it by that much. 14 to AC.
I rolled a 3.
Okay.
I'll try to be more inspiring to you next time.
And you can only work so well.
Yes, you're going to have to pay me back sometime. Some way.
I'm assuming that will be all for you?
Yep.
Okay. Elisha, that would mean... Val, you're up. You're awake.
Oh, okay. So, standing up, is that gonna?
Half your move.
Yeah, is that gonna?
Provoke.
And
No.
yeah,
And it
no.
won't provoke.
No.
Okay. All right. So Val's gonna stand up. It's gonna take first strike at her. 18.
That'll do it.
All right. So that's 9 points of piercing damage.
And how would you like her to go down?
Well, I think we'll sever the hand that was holding the staff that knocked him to the ground.
Okay.
And then on the backstroke, just kind of bring the blade across her neck.
As her hand cuts off to the ground and the staff falls to the ground, and you slash her throat, and she puts her one remaining hand and the bloody stump up to it to try to stop the bleeding, but this black eye cord is spraying out all over the place. And she then goes down to one knee. Gurgling noises coming out of her, and she falls to the ground. And the kobold that's fighting Lyra is like, no!
Does it start turning into a human again?
Not yet.
Okay. Then yeah, that'll be Val's turn.
Okay. Next up will be Alithia. What would you like to do, Alithia?
How far is that kobold?
5 feet away. I'm assuming that you and Lyra were still kind of hanging out by the door since you didn't run combat with her.
She'll go ahead and sacred flame his ass.
At least they are somewhat dexterous. And what happens if it fails? Dude.
Did it fail?
Yes, it did. That is 3 successful uses of sacred flame in a row. I have trashed that stuff so hard before. Yet it's
8 points of radiant damage.
Call it, are you murdering the bastard, or is it just knocked out?
It's going down.
Ooh, it's on fire.
All right, the explosion of this sparks and radiant and starlight energy just goes off in its head, and part of it is caved and burnt in, and it falls to the ground. And, oh, by the way, yeah. So, anything else for you?
Yeah, she'll say to the mayor, "Stay back. We got you. We got you. Don't worry about it. I won't let nothing happen to you."
Don't worry about it. I'm not going in there. And then, with that, another kobold will run into the room from another area and will attack one of the 3 frontline fighters, which would be Elisha. You get this one. Oh, that will be a 21, Elisha, as he brings this little rusty flint into your thigh. Where's my D4? For maximum 6 points of slashing damage, Elisha. one that was on Lyra was just so angry, so upset, tears of anger just wailing down its face that he just can't quite see. He's blind, and he's just stabbing his little shiv-type rusty sharpened piece of metal in the air, not really affecting you at all, Lyra. And then it's your turn. What would you like to do, Lyra? The dead body of the hag lies next to the rocking chair with her lantern at her feet, and the two other kobolds knocked out behind them on either side, and then one kobold on you and a fresh one right. And you can also, just FYI, I'll give everybody a heads up on this. When you hear feet running periodically, you can just imagine that there's going to be more coming.
While I was gone, did I take damage?
I do not believe so.
No, I don't think anything attacked you.
Okay. Because when the hag died, I got 3 hit points. Actually, no, I got 6 hit points.
Alright, cool.
The kobold that's on me, I'm gonna try and grapple it, just like grab it and pick it up and be like,
Hold it.
stop.
Fine. My bad. I forgot. Lithia, Sacred Flame is dead. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I lost track of things. My bad. There's a new one that jumped in, so there's still one on Eulacia.
Okay, then I will just yell out to it, and I'll be like, stop. You don't need to fight. This horrible creature, no matter what it looked like to you, it was manipulating you. It was using you. And try to convince it to stop fighting.
Give me a persuasion check.
16.
You can see it's not so wildly slaying, but it looks at you and be like, "What will we get?"
You get freedom, and the townsfolk will feed you, and you won't have to risk your lives to cause trouble at night anymore. Because as you can see, and she'll gesture to the rest of the children, there's already been enough damage done, enough people hurt.
She lets us do as we want at night. We get to be free and wild and children and kids and play whatever we want at night. Will you let us do the same?
No.
You can see he's now torn. All right. Any other actions besides the persuasion, movement, or anything?
I'll move up to where the rest of the frontliners are, and I'll just I'll have my hands out, I'll put my instrument away and that, and be like, look, I don't want to fight you guys anymore. You need to stop. So, and that'll be my turn.
All right. Next up will be Alvar. There is a kobold who's looking torn between fighting you. You hear him running around. There's the body of the hag lying around your feet with her lantern sitting beside her corpse, the rocking chair behind her. Yada yada. What would you like to do? I don't know.
Yeah.
That is a good answer.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
Huh?
Do I hear more coming into the room? Like they just haven't made it yet?
You do.
I'm going to move to the doorway that I hear the sound coming from.
Okay. You want to ready an action, or would you like to dodge as an action? Just suggest.
Can I see what's coming?
You're gonna. What's your dark vision like?
60 feet.
Sure, you see one coming. See a few coming. Put it like that. I was gonna have
17
one
to hit.
from each round. What?
17 to hit.
Oh, hey, you throwing something at it or something?
I shot an Eldritch Blast for 9 subduing damage.
Okay, you subdue it. He's going down.
That's my turn.
Elisha, you're up. What would you like to do?
So it's just the kid in front of me, right?
Yep. The hag's body lying on the ground with her lantern. Door.
I'm going to sheath my sword.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to use my bonus action for second wind.
And slap the shit out of this kid.
I'm gonna get 9 hit points. I'm gonna walk in front of him. I'm just gonna kind of stretch my hand, and I say, "You better listen to that lovely late woman over there, or else I'm gonna have to discipline you."
Discipline?
And I will actually go to slap him as my main attack.
Ah!
Does a 21 hit?
Yeah, slap the fuck out of him.
I slap him for 6 damage and render him unconscious.
Damn, okay. I was going to say I won't do anything. But no, he's unconscious. Alright.
I would like to pick him up and drag him, like, on his unconscious body. I'd like to drag him to the door.
The door to the outside or a door from this antechamber?
The door of the antechamber where all the kids are coming in from.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say, who else wants to get slapped before bed?
That is your turn.
Alright, Val, your turn. Dead hag lying there. Her lantern sitting at her feet, rocking chair
I feel
behind
like
her.
you're making a point about the lantern for some reason.
Well, Val's going to reach down, pick up the lantern, and pick up the hag's what you call it, staff.
Yeah.
And he's going to hold it above his head, and he's going to be like, "And let the beatings commence." And he's going to look for a child to discipline.
What you doing with the lantern? Just holding it up?
Shining it on the children if any show up.
Okay. Let's say it's a hooded lantern. Its hood was down.
Okay. So lift the hood up, I guess.
Yeah, you lift it up, and suddenly all the kids look like kids again.
Including that burnt corpse.
Including that burnt corpse. That burnt corpse would have looked like a kid in another round anyway. It was time. I rolled a d4 to see how many rounds it takes for them to revert back from kobold to kid after death.
So then, yeah, he'll instead of going after one of them that is like looking to be disciplined because they're annoying little brats.
Yeah.
He'll just start shining the light on all of them that he can see, that he can find.
And they'll cower and keep away from the light. It will reveal them to be. It makes them kids again, and they feel, powerful as kids. That they won't attack at all anymore. Yes, and I was making a point out of the lantern. Thank you for picking up on that.
Yeah, it was starting to make sense just a little bit.
Okay.
I was gonna go for it next round.
My character has an intelligence of 6. She isn't picking up on shit.
Take us out
So
of
we have a new
info,
Serena.
if that's okay, huh?
Well, at least she has alternate stats that she can use. And her charisma is 6. She has a horrible personality.
So we can take it out of initiative, as you can hold the lantern, and all the kids will not, they'll remain kids. while in the lantern's light. It acts almost like a daylight spell,
Okay.
which reverse some kids, and they will not attack you. What would you all like to do now?
I'm gonna prowl around the halls and make sure they all go to fucking bed.
Yes, that's exactly right. Go around looking for other kids to make sure that if there are any kobold kids, they become regular kids again and stop screwing with people's stuff.
Well, they do, but as soon as they're no longer in the light, they'll revert back to kobolds at night.
Oh, so this isn't
Daylight
permanent.
or within the effects of the daylight spell that the lantern casts.
Oh man, so the curse or whatever it is permanent on them?
Eh,
Maybe, I don't know.
would y'all like to give me a little heads up? Would you like to search the place while you're going
Yes.
around looking for kids?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Elitha will turn around and talk to the mayor and say, Mayor, we basically solved your problem here, so
You are correct, my Duchess.
payment is due. There is a spot that my minions have found within the village limits that I would desire the deed on it for the embassy.
If you can make this go away and return our kids back to normal, the land is yours.
We've already made our agreement prior.
Oh,
But-
you earned your finding out what's up with the thieves. Yes, yes. But it was also part of the deal to end it if possible. I am willing to up the reward, including giving you that land for ending this curse upon our land.
And she'll say, okay. And,
Hey, you got some more land around here somewhere to give away?
Then
Truthfully, the walls were rough on. There are many farms that are without farmers.
Elitha will be looking to
5 acres and a mule.
use Sacred Flame quite a bit.
As you're searching around the Miss Haverson's home for wayward children, putting kids in their bed, and under the light they'll go to bed. They'll see mindful little children. But you'll come across Miss Haverson's room. In it, you will find pentacles and pentagrams and strange runes and stuff carved into the floor. Many unguents of foul-smelling stuff.
Hey, didn't we have someone who at least pretended to know magic stuff?
I know some.
Oh, he's right there.
I got a 19.
For an Arcana check?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You feel that what she's been doing, she's been feeding them in their morning gruel some of this stuff from this unguent that she's been making out of sheep's livers. And burning it with some incense and a little bit of blood from each of the kids. She would take, just a little pinprick and get a bit of blood from them, mix it with the sheep liver, grind that up. Incense and some incantation is what you're seeing from the paperwork she's got going. And you feel that within a day or two of not receiving this in their gruel, they'll revert back to normal.
I just turn to the group and say, we can just leave it, takes care of itself.
Oh, you'll also find a chest.
Okay.
It's locked.
Search it for traps.
I'll roll it.
All right.
Personally, I prefer investigation, but I let players choose whether they want perception or investigation.
Fine. It doesn't matter. Perception or investigation are both the same for me.
Okay.
It's going to be a 26.
You find no traps.
All right.
But it
is it locked?
It is locked.
All right. All right, so lock picking is going to be 15 on the die and another 621.
You just barely managed to get it.
And Val will open it up and look inside.
In it, you will find some gems, just to make it easy. I'm going to call it 5.
Okay.
5 gems. High-quality large agates. 50 gold pieces each, because they are so large and so high quality, and agates really not worth much, but these are freaking master ones.
Okay.
You'll also find 20 platinum coins.
Okay.
And, 2 potions of healing. 1 potion of climbing. A potion of perception, gives you +10 to perception. And
Okay.
a potion of protection from poison. And then there's a lantern of daylight. 1 use per day, 30-foot radius. Otherwise, it's the same as the spell. And you can cast light whenever you want. Light spell.
Okie dokie. So, Val's going to look at what's in here and is going to be like, all right. Whatever y'all want. He's going to take his cut, which I guess is 1 gem and 4 platinum pieces. He's not really interested in the potions.
Oh, and the city will honor and pay you each 100 gold pieces
Okay.
for solving this mystery, along with whatever the guild dues is. What is the guild dues anyway?
I think it's 10%.
10%.
All right.
Yeah,
Is that
if
10% off the loot, or just 10% off of what they're paying you?
10% of what the contractor is paying. Normally, it's done behind the scenes where the person who puts out the contract prepays the 10%.
Okay.
Okay, so if you guys want to figure out who divvies up what as far as the potion of climbing, potion of perception, potion of protection, and the 2 protection from poison, and the 2 healing potions, that's fine. Like I said, Val's not really interested in those. Or the Lantern of Daylight, if anybody wants that too. So that's,
I don't want any of this stuff. And she gives her 100 gold to Lyra.
Are you sure, darling?
This mission has stained my honor, and I don't want anything to remind me of it.
I don't blame you there.
So, well, you can split the loot up 4 ways then, instead of 5.
That'll be an
Yeah,
extra.
she refuses everything. She won't take anything from.
Okay. So that'll be
125 gold pieces each.
yeah.
5 platinum each.
Okay.
And spare agate.
All right.
Given to the orphans. Given the care for the orphans.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea, the spare agate. Just give it to the mayor and say, looks like you need to hire somebody that's actually going to take care of these kids.
Oh, also, something else you will find while searching Madame Haversham's room. Underneath her bed is Mistress Haversham.
How dead is she?
Several months.
Oh, nice. That's a little grody.
The hag had there's a dead fucking whore in the bed. Anybody seen 4 rooms?
Elitha will turn to the mayor and say, the embassy will go ahead and take care of the orphans and train them. As far as that, don't worry about their health and well-being.
Oh, and you can have your land and everybody else who wants, since there's been so much destruction, and have 5 acres and there's plenty of farmland without farmers around here.
Okay.
If you want. You may not wish to ever come back here again where you're reminded of the children you killed. Or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the gold and platinum and the agate and a healing potion and just sort of walk away.
Okay. And 1 experience point as well.
Yeah, Val's not going to turn down the land.
Huh?
He'll take a farm and a house and a mule. Sure, why not?
Wow, you're going to have to pay taxes on that shit.
That's fine. I'm sure he'll be able to deal with that. And okay, so there's still a healing potion, a climbing potion, a perception potion, and a protection from poison potion. And the Lantern of Daylight. Does anybody want any of this?
If nobody wants the Lantern of Daylight, I'll take it. I'm sure I can find a use for it.
Alright, so have at it.
I know a particular paladin who would kill, a paladin/sorcerer who would kill for a Lantern of Daylight.
Doesn't seem like a very trustworthy paladin then.
If nobody's going to take any of the other stuff, then Val will take one of the potions of healing and the potion of perception.
That paladin would fit right in with this crew.
She would. Little Cena is like fucking dying to get anything.
Oh, I know she is.
Oh, God. Messaged me this morning, fucking 4 a.m. Hey, dude, I've been thinking about that radiant elemental.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No, Elitha's gotten pretty much what she requires and needs, and
You don't want to protect her from poison?
no.
She's already immune to it, isn't she?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, then Val will take him. He's not just going to leave him laying around.
But she's going to be intent. She wants to talk to her minions because she's going to work these minions to deal with the minions too.
Get involved with the Goblin Merchants Association.
You could say that as far as that, she'll be talking to them, and because she will honor her word. They did what they said they would do, and what she'll do is she'll offer them an opportunity to set up an annex office at the embassy. and part of that deal with them is they're going to have to go ahead and teach the orphans a profession.
They can do that.
And allow them to be members of this guild.
They will treat the orphans like family.
Yes.
Exploit them.
That's right. That allows Elitha to stay to her word for taking care of them, taking care of the minions that she has now,
and the kids to trade, because child labor is fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, I want to stop the broadcast. The mission has been solved. Yay!
All right.